Sometimes a short thriller book is just exactly what you need to enjoy your reading experience. Hey book besties, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be rounding up short thriller books that are less than 300 pages. Sometimes a thriller book is the best way to get out of a reading slump, or even if you're not in a reading slump, sometimes you just need a quick binge, and I love when thriller books are less than 300 pages and just have you keep turning the pages so fast you just fly through the books. So all of these are those types of books for you to add to your TBR. Before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button and stick around for more book content. I love sharing book recommendations like this one, reading roundups, book unboxing videos, and all the fun bookish things, so make sure you're following along. So like I said, all of these books are less than 300 pages, which is kind of like a sweet spot, I feel, for thriller books, because it's one you can get through really fast, and I think it's why thrillers are so good at getting you out of a reading slump, because you can just fly through the book and just get back into your groove for reading. It just works so well. First up, we have one of my favorite thriller books of all time, Grady Lake. Now this is book one in a series of 3 books. They're all less than 300 pages. This story is about this small town in Michigan. It's like a lake town with some tourism, and there's a haunting secret that's been kept in this town after the main character's sister went missing and nobody ever found her. So that's where the story really kicks off, but this whole town is just wild because there's a lot of things happening that you're like, wait a minute, what is going on? I binged the entire series in less than a week. It was so good. Next is The Arrangement, which is another 3-book series, but truthfully, I think you could just read this one and not read the rest if you didn't want to. The other 2 were good, but this one just hit so hard. This is about a couple who are going through a bit of a rough patch, and so they decide to do something different and date other people like one night a week. And things get really weird. It was wild. Camp Lanier is a YA thriller with some horror vibes to it. It's about this girl who gets sent away to this camp to kind of reform because she was caught stealing, even though she didn't actually do it. But she goes to this camp and things are a little weird at the camp, but there's also a mystery with the lake near it because supposedly there is a town beneath this lake and the ghosts haunt the land. This was such a wild story. It was so good. The Good Lie is one of those books that I just could not stop reading. This is another one that's got a little bit of a small town mystery to it, where something's been happening, nobody knows who's behind it, but they do know that younger boys are being targeted. They're just not sure by who. So this woman teams up with a detective to kind of figure it out together. If you love a sibling drama thriller, Home is Where the Bodies Are is so good. It follows 3 siblings who are meeting up again after the passing of their mother, and there's some family secrets coming out after they see a tape with some incriminating evidence on it that's kind of connected to a decades-old mystery that happened in the town. It's so wild. I had a lot of fun with this, and this is actually my favorite Geneva Rose book. If you like a cult thriller, When She Returned has to be added to your TBR. This was my first Lucinda Berry book, and I completely understood the hype about her because she does psychological so well, as she should. That's her main profession, but it was such a bingeable thriller. I could not stop reading. I was not expecting this to go where it did. It was wild. Missing Pieces is a story that follows a woman who was married to her husband for probably 20 years, and she met him after he moved away from his hometown. She doesn't really know much about his family, and she's never been to his hometown before until the aunt that raised him as a teenager is on her deathbed, and they go back to the hometown to see her and take care of some of her last affairs. Well, this woman already knows that something is amiss in this town, but her husband never talked about what happened in his life. So she's trying to figure out what's going on here, and this one was crazy. Gillian Flynn is one of my favorite thriller authors, and it's a tragedy that she hasn't written any more books, but Sharp Objects is one of her darker ones that was just so wild. Again, we've got this small town with some mystery going on because these young girls are going missing, and nobody knows who's behind it. So this woman who has been away from her hometown for a very long time comes back as a journalist to figure out what's going on. But she's got some trauma of her own to deal with, and it's a lot. I would definitely check your trigger warnings on this one. If you love a domestic thriller, Loving Mothers is perfect for you. This was definitely giving those Desperate Housewife vibes. You're following mothers in this little community after one of the daughters is gone missing on Halloween night, and nobody wants to admit that maybe they know what happened to her. or maybe their children know what happened to her. It was just such a back and forth, like wondering who could have been behind it, whose children could have been behind it, who's keeping secrets, who's not. It was so good. Freida McFadden can always be relied on to have like these twisty, quick, fast-paced thrillers, and One by One is a great one. You're following this group of friends who are going to a cabin for a weekend away, but their car breaks down, and so they have to walk to their cabin. And it's desolate, so there's no service, nothing there, and they're being picked off one by one. Crazy. No Place Left to Hide is another YA thriller that was giving me very much Pretty Little Liars vibes. It was so good, so twisty. I had no idea where it was going. I loved it. Whispers of the Lake is a perfect summer thriller to read. It's about this woman whose friend has gone missing. But the thing is, her and her friend have been estranged for a little while. So she doesn't really know what's been going on in her friend's life. And now that she's missing, she's trying to figure out where she is and everything behind it. And she's like, what was going on with her? It was so crazy. The Storm is another good thriller to read during the summer because it follows a beachside town during a storm that's got these like locked room vibes to it, a lot of family secrets. It was so good, so like heart palpitating because you're like, what's gonna happen to these people? It was so good. Best Offer Wins was such an unhinged thriller. The FMC in this one is desperate, I mean desperate, to get her dream home. So when she finds it, she befriends the people who own it to try to get her foot in the door, and she will stop at nothing, and I mean nothing, to get this house. It was so crazy. Ask for Andrea is a thriller that's got a little bit of paranormal vibes to it because the main characters you're following in this are the victims of the unaliver in the book, and they're trying to find the next victim and kind of help her get out of the situation that she's in. It was such a unique thriller. I had never read a book with a concept like this before, and it was very intriguing. And this is actually loosely based on a true story. And last is The Baby on My Doorstep. This book follows a woman who has a baby dropped off on her doorstep, and she thinks that it belongs to her sister, who has been missing for over a year. So she's wondering, how did this baby get here, and where is my sister? So she goes on a hunt to figure it all out, and it was wild. Definitely check your trigger warnings in this one because it is a little bit dark, but it was such a good story. If you're going to be adding any of these books to your TBR, comment and let me know which one. And if you have recommendations for thriller books under 300 pages, drop those too so that I can add them to my TBR. Thanks for watching, besties. I'll see you next time.